Hi, hello. Welcome back to Spelling's 5-Minute Build School. Today we're building bridges. So, first we want to do is look at the pit that you want to build the bridge over. How big is it? How wide is it? How deep is it? These are the questions you want to think to yourself, as well as what is the build style around it? If it's a medieval build, you're going to want to build in a more medieval style, unless you're thinking that a time traveler came and built the bridge. Or it's some sort of medieval reconstruction and someone did a dumb. Another thing you want to think about is, well, would it have actually been feasible for pillars to go all the way down? Because in some cases it's just not possible. Which leads into the next thing. What kinds of bridges are out there? For starters, there's the arch type bridge, a bridge where there is an arch supporting it and leads to either a flat piece being put on top or people go over top of the arch. Viaducts, where there are multiple arches going across one large gap and a flat piece being on top. Trains use this and was commonly found back Victorian type times. Cable bridges, used when lots of pillars aren't that practical or as a space and cost saving measure. Wooden or rope bridges for low traffic areas or places where it's not that easy to get materials to. And flyovers, found in cities and also a modern answer to a viaduct. These can also translate really, really well into a sci-fi setting, like this. Different bridges tend to have different types of pillars, square or rectangular pillars for bridges that are more land-based, round pillars for more modern bridges, and sci-fi bridges, of course, diamond or elongated hexagons for bridges that are in the water more, because of the fact that they're able to cut through the water more easily. And also, you're able to mix and match these, such as putting a square pillar on a circular base, or a larger and a smaller circle together, or putting a elongated hexagon down and then two squares or two circles, things like that. If your pillar is big enough, you can also jazz it up, perhaps with adding a border to a different colour in the core. Over here we can see examples by mixing polished andesite and diorite. You can do all sorts of things, especially once you get to having some really, really big pillars. You can get away with having really deep cuts and having the light and shadow also play a part in getting that design going. Or you can have empty space by cutting out entire sections of the pillar, as long as you have something that's still holding it up. Looks a bit odd if you don't. What materials are good to use for when? Well, if you're building medieval styles, take from your builds and use similar pallets and build in wood and stone. If you're building modern, concrete and also your roads that you're probably putting on there are good to use. Also concrete. If you're building sci-fi, well, you have also the options of glass, things like sea lanterns or even shroom lights, end rods, things like that, just to add those extra spicy lighting details that just chef's kiss up. a sci-fi build. If you're making a bridge, what you do need though is regularly spaced pillars if you're having pillars. Because it looks a bit weird if you've got 20 blocks between one pillar and 5 blocks between the next. If you're building your archway, try to get your archway centered in the middle of your gap. And if you've got no pillars, then have an anchoring spots at both ends. So having your cable stays, whether they're pillars or trees or whatever, at both ends, about the same distance away. And when you're building it, either start at the middle or one end. It helps a lot for the workflow. And then build the main structure, then your walkway, and decorate. Easy as pie. Have fun. I'd love to see what you build. Bye!